Hey everybody, welcome to the monthly vid. We're going to probably keep this one, pretty short and to the point. Not too much to go over, but let's dive in. So SPY, you're going to notice the first month of the quarter did trade higher. So we ended as a 2 to the upside, and this was the broadening formation previously. It expanded, now it has grown in size. Qs, same thing. You go back to a couple monthly videos ago, we called this little hammer out and up they went. Here's your broadening formation now. At this point, both SPY and Qs are 3-2 quarters. So we want to stay above that, 5-5-3-12. If we were to change and start coming back below it, then we have bigger problems. We need to know about that. So very, very important levels, last quarter's highs, SPY and Qs. We will see Dow Jones did start as a 2-2-month reversal, still has not made all-time highs yet, and we close out as a shooter month in the Dow. So although we failed to make the highs, that could cause some, some weakness in the industrials. We had a 2-2 reversal week this week, so we'll see as the new month opens up how that plays out. We also had some, profit taken in IWM as well. In this case, sorry, IWM could be closer to a 2-2 down. It's going to open as a 1 more than likely. We also have a 2-up quarter in IWM, so we prefer things to the upside, but we're going to be mindful of any 2-2 reversals down next month if we see that there. That being said, let's take a look at our sectors. So looking at the sectors, we're going to see this. You'll see technologies just right into the top of their broadening formation as of now. At this point, nowhere near reversal here on the month. I'm not sure how I did that. That was cool. It's on accident. However, you will see healthcare's 1-3. So this is closer to 3-2 down expansion in healthcare's, and we've seen UNH not really having a good time, and that could definitely start leaking over into the rest of the healthcares. We also saw Staples go inside down last month, although there's still mother bar problems. Then we'll see the shooter month in the transport, so some slight triangle layout, and then him setting up again. Sorry, I have a really dry throat tonight. Communications could be closer to the 2-2 reversal back down. It's kind of a doji. Discretionary, at this point, nowhere near reversing. Utilities, this point, nowhere near reversing. Materials, a little bit different. You're going to see the shooter. So we do have some bearish signals here going into next month. And let me get the list going. All right, so sectors will have XLB 132 set up. We will have the XLB Shooter set up. We're just going to remove the word setup so it's not too much here. We will have, I believe that's XL or IYT, yep, IYT Shooter. And then we will have that as about it as far as setups are concerned. There. Now, if we take a look at the other sectors here, we're going to see financials could turn into the 2-2 reversal. We will see retail shooter. We can say XHB Shooter. Semis, just top of the triangle. Chiners, a little bit of shooter, which is KWEB. And then defense sector, a little bit stronger. Now, one thing we can do is, as we're getting closer to the end of the week, we can look at these weeklies and say, well, you know, are these closer to going down or up next week? And a lot of these things are a little closer to breaking down, at least as we get to closing out these months. So not a good look as far as going into the new second month of the quarter. That being said, let's hit a little bit of our scans here. So what we do is we go to the month, we go to setup. You'll see we had most of the market rallying last month. However, 189 shooter setups. You're going to see healthcares, some tech, healthcares, financials, industrials, a little bit of energies. So let's take a look. VRTX will be the rev-strat. Setting up. That could cause an inside quarter, so you have the domino there. Obviously Dow Jones, TT in the industrials, let's see. Not sure what these guys do, however, they do have a shooter at the top of their broadening formation. AON in the financials, outside 3-3 shooter. That's definitely an interesting one, especially if this inside week were to break the downside. It is a little bit stuck in here, but maybe they can break that consolidation. Still pretty inside quarter. I'll just put it there as a mentions. 133 AON. Royal Caribbean. See the shooter on the month. Tempting to call a high in here, which is interesting. Royal Caribbean falls under, you know, transport / consumer discretionaries or consumer cyclicals, which is discretionary, same thing. Well, we'll figure out where that goes later, but shooter month. Royal Caribbean, let's see. Hilton, also cyclicals, HLT. So we can just say like the travel stuffs. RCL Shooter, HLT Shooter. FedEx, that's a good setup for next month. In the transport / industrials, the 122 pivot machine gun setup. It's a very good looking one, especially, you know, I had UPS getting wrecked on earnings. COF financials. Shooter month COF, and we're going to draw that triangle out as always. Boom, boom. And XPI and the chips. That's interesting, right? If we do see semis weakness, that would be one of them. We'll have Apple rev-strat setting up as well, and then we'll have some more banks. PNC, a slight shooter. Healthcare, TRI. It's an interesting one here. Hasn't had many lower lows recently, so that could be what sends them in motion to the downside for sure. The shooter there. Question mark. I've never traded it. Let's see. ABBV, the rev-strat in healthcares. With the shooter week setting up, that looks good. MTB financials. That's not a good looker. You'll see in here, way at the top of the triangle they out. If they're going to start ripping them back to the downside, that's one way to do it. see RCL inside month. I believe that's technology. Question mark, but high volatility, we like that. Dove Industrials, also a rev-strat. Since it's two up, it's a difficult one. I'd rather shy away from it because it's so inside there. AMAT in the technologies / chippers. Let's see, slight higher highs in the month completes this triangle here. I believe it's a 2 down year, so if they were going to bring them back down, that's a possibility with an XPI. A few names I'm not super familiar with. Let's see, STZ, the inside bar shooter, potentially has a measured move of this big puke down in here. Does still have further to go in there. It's going to be in your consumer staples. Not as interesting to me, but we'll see. APO, industrials, another rev strat in the industrials. JBHT, industrial transports, JBHT is in there. PO in the industrials is in there as well. So we got a lot of rev strats industrials. This pretty much tells us, you know, these things are going to be going down here. Whatever the low of 2 months ago, 3 months ago now, actually, is where they're going. So definitely want to know about these industrials. I'm going to put a star next to that sector specifically. It's like real estate's, CCI. It's also setting up the big old rev strat in here, although it's not the biggest mover. We could see it drop about 9%. I do like that setup. And I like it because we have broadening formation stuck in the middle, poke up, and then poke down, which could do what? Break that. We'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bar inside bar pattern to break out of. Got more industrials, JCI. That's Johnson Controls. Yep. And this makes sense, right? Dow Jones being weaker is going to give you more industrials on the list. ECF's been bouncing around this baby for a while here. You got the inside shooter month up at the highs here. Still inside quarter. There's also an outside year, so interesting. Put it on the mentions. Let's see. Starbucks. Starbucks has a PMG, and this one has been having trouble recently. You can see it's stuck in the middle of this baby. Now, the question is, if that worked, would we PMG through all these guys? You know, potentially, right? And that would be your XLY. Starbucks. Star. Shooter plus PMG. We like that. Materials is on there, which makes sense. And we will look at some more materials shortly. For the most part, materials tend to move less, so we're going to be towards the bottom of our lists. in the materials, there's ALB setting up the 322. Very nice PMG week this week. It's TLD inside. WLK, no idea what they do. You see the beautiful pivot machine gun here, which they already took them all out, but then triangle layout against the ear here. They're going to keep on puking on. LYB, also Shooter. One of my favorite material stocks was WY. Just kind of died out as of, the past couple of years. But it is 3-2 year this year. It's got 2-month inside bar. It's trying to break out. Actually, it's going to be 3 months now after this closes out. So I'll just add that to the list of materials. Vol. Let's see. Also a shooter. See, these just tend to be less volatility. Unlike IP, you can see this is a little bit better volatility here. Yeah, they got wrecked on earnings. Still an inside year, but nice rev-strat setup. All right. So that covers material shooters. All right. Now let's get into the inside bars. Eli Lilly, the triple inside month. That's definitely an interesting one. MasterCard's 3-1 month with Visa 3-1. Tesla, double inside month. McDonald's is inside month. So we got a lot of good inside months at the top of the list here. Gold. Gold is an inside month. All right. Sorry, I'm kind of getting carried away looking at these charts. CME is a 3-1 month with Visa MasterCard in the financials. In the industrials, AVAV is inside month. You see, this has been a pretty nutty one this year. They have a nice 3-2 expansion here. Plus the inside bar, maybe a measured move if things stay firm into next month. PAYX has a 3-1 month that falls into industrials as well. Technologies arm. Stuck back in the middle of this range, but you'll see an inside month here. Seeing a few repeats in here. Let's see, Disney. That's an interesting one. We like that. It's your discretionary. Technically, they're in a lot of different sectors, but Disney. Got a few energy names in there. Let's say Schmuckers. Staples, Schmuckers. See, it's a big old inside bar. I'm gonna leave it off the list for now. MU inside month in tech. You can see, so triangle up to the upside, maybe triangle back down. And we see that in a few chip names here. Walmart's gonna be an inside month, which could trigger the quarter. Starting to get into some of the really low volume names, so we're just gonna leave it at that. See if we have any rev-strats setting up on the month. Oops. So there is DE setting up in here. While the market was weak, this was going up. And DE is a 3-2 up year. So if we see all the industrials peaking and that going up, does give us evidence of that buyer being very aggressive. The question mark next to it. The treasury bills have a rev-strat for next month, so you might see some above average returns there. All right, that's it for the upside. Let's see, do we have any 1-2 up in reds? Mar. So Marriott, discretionary. COR in the healthcare's EA Sports. That could be a crazy PMG if it does start kicking in the other way. Triple M. We like that in the industrials. The rev-strats. And if we draw the triangle out, you see it's off the top of that. We like that. And we do have a few nobodies in here. Looks like Ion Q is a maybe. It's still mother bar to that, so you just want to be aware of it if you're playing it. Yeah, that's about it. So added a few of those. Let's see, 2 up and Shooter. We're gonna have most of these already on our list, but let's see if we missed any. Crocs. Interesting. Health, MRK. Let me see if we got that in there. We do not. I'm sorry I'm being quiet. My throat's just dry, so I'm trying to talk as little as possible while just quickly going through some of the names. Maybe at turns into the rev-strat month, and that's it. We'll just put that in the mentions. It's a question mark. All right. That does cover everything I wanted to get through tonight. So if you're looking for the final list, here it is. You can zoom out a little bit so you can try and get it all in one go. It doesn't look like that's going to be possible, but you can go and copy it from the description. This is your summary here, and type out your summary. My voice is really dry, so feel free to just read it. All right. Now, if you want to get the sectors, here it is. Scroll, take your screenshots, and I'm just going to leave it at that. So have a good rest of your night or morning or whenever you're watching this, and we'll see you guys in the next. Adios.